All right, welcome into another edition of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo. Getting a little bit of a late start today. Our guy Keg will be joining us probably midway through the show. Had a pretty good card last week. We've been piecing them together pretty nicely here. What are your thoughts going into this one?
Yeah, great card for me last week. Looking to build on it. Feel like I've got some good reads here. So, let's try to make some money.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you have to say about a handful of these early prelim cards. I'm on a few dogs here, so what's up, DB Gnarly? Yo,
Okay.
dude, thanks for joining. Let's jump right into it. Our first fight of the night is let's see here. Is this a flyweight fight? Strawweight. Shauna Bannon taking on Alice Ardeline. She's making her UFC debut. Apparently, she's very big on TikTok. Found that out this week. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, interesting fight. Last minute replacement. Alice, she's from the Romanian scene. Like you said, did like 3 million like TikTok followers, Instagram followers. Her OnlyFans is quite interesting. I've checked a couple of pictures out and quite interesting. So and then Bannon, I don't really. I mean, I don't know. I don't really rank Bannon very high. I don't think she's very good. I think she's a below average like kickboxer. That's what she's gonna want to do. She's gonna want to keep this fight standing. And this girl Alice. I mean, from the footage I did see of her, I mean, she's fighting cans, but I mean, she's crushing the can. She's like on a 5-6 fight win streak. She did fight like Wei Li back in the day.
Yeah.
In the beginning of that fight, she kind of she tried to kind of ran at her and she was like trying to throw down with her, but then Wei Li just took her down and grounded her out. So, also she did fight Diane Belbita. She got subbed by her like back in the day, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm just not high on Bannon. I just don't think she's very good. I think this girl Alice is going to be like walking forward, throwing volume. I kind of like the dog here in this spot. I mean, I can't lay juice on Bannon. I can't trust her. I don't think she's very good. So it would have to be dog or pass for me.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. When I saw the fight get booked, I looked at some offshore prices, and they had Bannon listed at -300, which I thought was insane. But yeah, I don't think Bannon is particularly good. I mean, her striking's solid, but she doesn't pack a lot of power. She's not very strong. My main fear here is Ardeline, starting fast, gassing herself out. But I could see her coming out and getting a first round finish here. She's aggressive. She's strong. I think she'll be able to wrestle. And she throws pretty heavy shots. So I think this is a dog shot here, and possibly a live betting opportunity if she looks tired after a dominant first round. But I think she's more than live in this spot.
Yeah, I think she can mix in some grappling. Her grappling didn't look too bad. I mean, looks like and then Bannon, her grappling's not very good. So
with Bannon, she's got a lot of flashy striking, not a lot of substance.
She's like a kickboxer.
So we'll see. But I'll take the dog here to start the card off. All right, our next fight is a heavyweight matchup. We've got Mick Parkin taking on Lucas Bresky. Ugly one, to say the least. Parkin, he trains with Tom Aspinall. Doesn't exactly fight like Tom Aspinall, but, good training partner. Bresky showed some flashes early in the UFC. He's had a rough run. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think this is like Parkin all the way here. I think Parkin's probably just going to be able to take him down. I mean, Bresky fought Walter Walker, and like Walter Walker like had like 3 minutes of cardio and then was just like completely cooked. And I don't think he's very good, anyways. You know, like you said, Parkin's training out of that gym with Tom. They got all those good heavyweights in there. So yeah, I mean, he's getting good work in. I don't like Bresky's cardio. I feel like Parkin's gonna like be able to like get takedowns and kind of wear on him and grind him out, use some ground and pound. And I think eventually, I think he probably finds a finish like round one, round two. I mean, I think this is pretty much Parkin takes him down and grounds him out. I think it's pretty straightforward for me. I mean, I'm not a fan of Bresky. I don't think he's very good. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially if Parkin gets the wrestling going. Bresky can't really stop a takedown. That's been his Achilles heel. Parkin, big favorite here for good reason. I mean, he's not a guy I like to pay up for, obviously, but yeah, I just think
He's taking money too. It's like he was like minus 260 earlier in the week,
Yeah.
Parkin. So he's up to
I just feel like
now.
he has the advantages everywhere. He's the rightful favorite. I think he could dominate this fight, especially if he gets the wrestling going. I'm not going to overthink this one too much.
Yeah,
But
I like
yeah.
inside the distance. Parkin inside the distance is plus 200. I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think if he gets him down, just starts ground and pound, it could get ugly.
Club and sub, I think. Like,
yeah. All right, we'll move on. Our next fight is another interesting one. This is a very interesting card overall. We've got Sam Patterson taking on Kiefer Crosby, welterweight fight. Patterson, very tall, very lean. He's got some pretty good skills. Saw him get starch in his debut, came back with a submission finish in his next fight. Kiefer Crosby, bit of a brawler, heavy hands, which could come into play here. But you know, he's definitely got some holes himself. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. This line's kind of blown out a lot. I mean, Patterson up to 420 now. Yeah, this is another one where I like Patterson. I like his style. I like his. I mean, his striking is pretty good. I mean, he kind of stands straight. He's so tall. He kind of stands straight up, and his chin is like out there to be cracked. And like we've seen, Ashman's caught that chin and put him out.
Yeah.
You know, so I question the durability of the chin, but you know, yeah, I think he's going to probably be able to get this down to the ground because I don't think Crosby's takedown defense is good at all. I mean, we've seen Giussette took him down and then tapped him right away, you know. And I think, I think Patterson's has better BJJ than Giussette, you know. But I think he's slick on the ground, Patterson, you know. Yeah, but it worries me early when this is on the feet and Crosby is going to be throwing heat early, and Patterson's there to be hit if he's, you know. But I think he probably shoots and takes him down. I mean, that's what I would do. But I could see this kind of being hairy if it's on the feet. But I'm gonna pick Patterson here, sub 1 or 2. That's gonna be my look in this fight. I think he takes him down, and I think he taps him.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. Patterson, I feel like his path to victory is going to be a sub here. I think that's a solid way to bet him. But you know, Crosby, that first round, to me, Patterson looks like a guy. I don't really think he's big enough and strong enough to fight in the welterweight division. I do think he's going to get the way he leans back and gets clipped. I just think this kid's going to get knocked out a lot. So I do think Crosby is live for a knockout early in this fight. But like you said, I mean, the way he got submitted against Giussette, and I think Giussette's pretty solid. He's not a bad fighter.
No, he's all right. Yeah.
To go to the ground and just not defend hands, like I don't understand what he was doing there. Just basically gave the sub right off the bat. So, yeah, obviously, the sub is live for Patterson. I do think this fight's going to get finished one way or the other. I think it's probably going to get finished in the first half of the fight. So yeah, I like Patterson by sub. I don't mind a sprinkle on Crosby KO, but I think Patterson by sub is probably
I
the
like the
smart.
under 1.5. Fight doesn't start round 2 or round 3. I mean, I think those are all great parlay pieces. I mean, I think
Yeah,
we see violence
I
here. So under one and a
I
half,
would
fight
be.
doesn't start round 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if this fight gets into round 3. There's just too much knockout and submission potential here with both guys. All right, our next fight is love this fight. Absolutely love this fight. This is going to answer a lot of questions. We've got a flyweight bout between Muhammed Makayev and Manel Kopp. Manel Kopp, a sniper on the feet, very good takedown defense. Makayev, obviously, he's going to look to wrestle. He's got decent striking, but obviously his path here would be to wrestle. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is an interesting one here. I mean, with all the beef these guys got, I mean, I guess they got into it at the PI. I guess Kopp split him open with an elbow, and then and then this week, the other day, the teams are brawling. I guess Makayev tried to set him up, and Muslim brother come take a picture, and then they like got into a brawl. Whole bunch of crazy shit going on here, and this fight was on the main card and then got bumped down twice. It was on the prelims and now it's on the early prelims, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Makayev is on the last fight of his contract. I mean, maybe the UFC just don't want to snooze fest on the on the prelims of the pay-per-view, because if Makayev gets his game going, Makayev's going to want to grapple. He's going to want to get this down to the ground, control Kopp, take him down. Taking a lot of money now. He's up all the way up to minus 170, which is interesting. I thought it would be going the other way, but I guess people are leaning on that Makayev is going to be able to get takedown to grapple. But I'm not so sure. I don't know. Kopp is a good anti-wrestler. He's got good grappling himself. He's going to want to keep this on the feet, though. And if he keeps this on the feet, he's levels ahead of Makayev on the feet. He can just, I can see him absolutely destroying Makayev on his feet and starching him. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm looking forward to this. We're going to get it early, which is good. But yeah, I'm going to pick Kopp to be able to make it to anti-grapple, get enough separation, and eventually find that big shot, which I think it's probably only going to take one with his power and his striking. I mean, it can only take one. And I can also see him throwing a knee on entry, Makayev shooting, and then maybe him hitting him with the knee or something. Or, yeah. So I think this is Kopp money line for me. Kopp KO 2 or 3. I'll be on. Yeah, I like Kopp.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think the anti-wrestling is big in this fight. He's not an easy guy to take down. His striking is levels above. And I mean, I like Makayev. I think he's got a lot of upside, but I don't know, man. Like I've bet on him inside the distance pretty much every fight he's been in. For the most part, he's cashed those tickets, but man, it's been, final 30 seconds of round 3, on a couple occasions. Yeah, I'm not. His wrestling is very good. He is relentless. If he gets it going, yeah, he could win. Obviously, he's a favorite here, but yeah, I don't know. I just think Kopp has the game to kind of shut him down. He scrambles pretty well, and yeah, his combos are slick. He's got good power for a flyweight. One of the most powerful flyweights on the roster, I'd say. So yeah, I think Kopp's the play here. I like Kopp here. All right, we'll move on to our next fight. Another interesting one. This is a good card, man. This is a lot of good fights. Got Oban Elliott taking on Preston Parsons in a welterweight matchup. Elliott making his second. This is his second fight in the UFC. Parsons, I think he should be on a 3-fight winning streak, but I feel like he got robbed against Trevin Giles. Good fight here. Both guys pretty well rounded. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Preston Parsons, man. He's a good fighter. I mean, the way I like his style. I mean, he's constantly walking forward, constantly throwing volume, putting pressure on you. Great wrestling. Just the thing that worries me is like he puts like the amount of stuff he does in the octagon. He just wears himself out, so he kind of gasses towards the end of fights, where he's not really gassing, but he looks tired, you know.
Yeah.
But he still fights through. But he still fights through it, which is not something very appealing on the eyes here. But yeah, I don't know. I got some question marks about Oban, and I don't think his takedown defense. I think he's got decent takedown. I think he can be taken down and controlled, as we've seen before. He has.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got good grappling himself, but I mean, he's pretty much he can get taken down and controlled. I mean, his striking is pretty basic. It's nothing special. I mean, and Val Woodburn was in there piecing him up, and he couldn't finish Val Woodburn. I mean,
yeah. And Val was not midway through.
And that was
he was cooked.
Yeah, and Val fucking clipped him in the first like exchange of the fight. Clipped him, wobbled him, had him on skates.
Yeah.
You know, and that was just a bad look in your first UFC fight. You got to run through that guy. I thought he was going to run through him, but yeah, that was a bad look. I'm going to have to pick Parsons here to get the win. I'm be on Parsons money line. I'm going to wait and see because money has come in on Elliott. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and try to see if I can get a better number. But yeah, I'm going to be on Preston Parsons.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. Honestly, Parsons at the price, one of my favorite bets of the night. I really do think he's stronger. I think he can win the grappling. From a DFS perspective, I think there's massive value. If he does what I expect him to do, I feel like he's going to score pretty well. Yeah, I just don't think Elliott is. I don't know. I just don't think he's all that great. I think he's got solid skills, solid overall game, but I think Parsons is gonna win the grappling, and I mean I could see him clipping him too. He's got some power, but I think he's just gonna out wrestle him. I just think he's the stronger of the two, and yeah, I think Parsons to me is great value on this card. One of my favorite plays.
Yeah, I love Parsons here. The junkyard dog, man. He just walks forward and just throws everything at you.
All right.
I was impressed by that Semmelsberger.
Yeah, too. Yeah. I think he's good, man. Like I said, I think he should be on a 3-fight winning streak.
Yeah, the Trevin Giles fight was close, but he didn't end the best on his back. But,
he didn't, and I think he gave that third round
away. That's what cost him the fight.
Yeah, he could have had it. It should have been his, but yeah, it is what it is. But it was still, a decent showing against a decent guy. So I do think he's legit. Well, at least he's, I think he's a good fighter. We'll see how legit he is, but I think he's going to get the job done here. All right, our next fight is a bit of a stinker. We've got a light heavyweight bout between Modestas Bukauskas and Marcin Prachnio. Both of these guys have been a nightmare to me. Picking against them, picking them to win, like it's tough for me to get either one of these guys right. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this isn't. I don't know. I'm not too interested in this one. Bukauskas, pretty low volume, decent striking, no power. He doesn't really use grappling in his game plan. So I think primarily this is going to be probably a striking bout. We've seen before Prachnio is able to put out volume and be able to use leg kicks and use his volume with his hands. I mean, he beat Khalil Roundtree, which
Yeah.
was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
pretty
one of the
wild
ones that
that
I
you would
actually
think
got
that,
right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I took a dog shot that night.
Yeah, this fight is junk, but like I think I like Prackniel here. I think I'm gonna be on Prackniel. I can't lay juice on Modestus. Um, yeah, I think Prackniel is just gonna be able to just. I don't think anybody's getting the finish. I think this is probably gonna be a 15-minute just striking bout, and I think Prackniel is probably gonna have more volume here. So yeah.
You know what, man? I love that you say that because I feel the same way. Um, I think I think Bukowskis sucks. I don't think either one of them is very
I
good.
think
But
both of them suck.
yeah, they both do suck. You're right.
So yeah.
But I mean, generally in a fight like this, I generally just pick the dog by default because two bad guys, take a
You don't want to
shot.
be laying juice on a fucking guy that you wouldn't
Exactly.
back against
But I
anybody
mean,
else,
breaking it down, I do think Prackniel could win the fight. I think he could destroy him with leg kicks. I think heavy body kicks. He does. I think the volume will be. Bukowskis does not throw a lot of volume, and I mean honestly, his wins have not been over the best guys, and he got starched recently. So yeah, I think both guys are pretty bad. I'm gonna roll with Bracknell here. I think he's live, and yeah, like you said, I do think if fight goes long, I could easily see it going 3 rounds. But I think Bracknell heavy leg kicks, heavy body kicks. That's an advantage he has, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a dog shot for me. All right, our next fight this is a good one. Bantamweight bout. We've got Jake Hadley taking on Colin Logren. Hadley, good striker, sharp striking. Wrestling's decent, but he can be taken down. Logren obviously looking to wrestle pretty much from opening bell. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Jake Hadley stepping in on short notice, but he's coming up a weight. He's maybe at the weight class he should be at because he's massive. What does he fight at? Bantamweight or where is it? He's a 135er, right? Flyweight, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's massive down there. He's missed weight. He kills himself. Now he's coming up on short notice to fight this tank, this little fucking like stocky tank, who's gonna want to take you down. He's gonna want to use his hands. I like this Lofgren kid. I think he has some potential. He's got good grappling, good striking. I think his hands are pretty good. He's got decent pop in his hands. Good, well-rounded kid. I think he has some potential. And Jake Hadley, I mean, he's a decent grappler. I mean, good submissions. His striking's okay. But the thing that worries me is his cardio. His cardio is usually crap, and yeah, I think Lofgren's going to be able to get the wrestling going and be able to drag this one late, and I could see possibly like maybe a late submission here on Hadley after he's gassed.
Yeah, I'm right there with you again. It's gonna be a fun card.
Yeah,
we're
locked in so far.
yeah. I think it's gonna be close. Hadley is a good striker. He's gonna make it tough. He's not, you can take him down, you can wrestle with him, but he makes it a bit tough on you. So he's got a live guard, which obviously he can catch a sub or whatever. But yeah, I just think Logren just eventually just wears on him, lands the takedowns, and when he's on top, he is tough. His ground and pound's very good.
Yeah,
very good pressure. Yeah, I think Logren gets it done here. And like you said, I think a late finish is possible. Just you just wear on him, and then kind of just break through.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this Lofgren kid, man.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty good. And in the Lapilus fight, Lapilus is such a hard guy to take down. I mean,
Yeah.
your debut, you're fighting that tough veteran guy,
Yep.
and you just couldn't get your game going. That guy, his takedown defense is really good. And then his next fight, I mean, he looked great.
Yeah, he looked much better in that fight. All right, our next fight, I'm pretty sure we'll probably be in agreement here. We've got Molly Meatball McCann taking on Bruna Brazil in a women's strawweight bout. Molly, known for pace, or boxing. She's a bit of a junkyard dog herself. Taking on Bruna Brazil. Brazil's pretty good striking, but leaves a lot to be desired. Molly, pretty big favorite here. I think deservedly so. What are your thoughts? Hey, look who it is.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, there we go.
We're here.
It's here.
We're here. I made it. I finally made it.
You made it.
Let's go.
Right.
What's going on, sweethearts?
We're doing well, getting through. Talking.
We've been pretty much in lockstep here the whole early fight card, so that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah.
This fucking guy. This guy.
Yeah.
Diego.
Yeah, my God. All right. So
all right. So we're joined by our guy here. You have any hot takes for the card? Any
from the fights before that we talked about? Anything you liked before?
I literally just walked in the door. What fight are we on?
Molly.
We're on the Molly.
We're on the Molly fight.
Oh, love Molly. Big Molly guy this week. Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna get into it right now.
We're just getting into this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is meatball all the way. This is a good setup fight. Bruna, she likes to keep her chin, and I don't think her chin's very good. I think she can get hit. I mean, she's pretty a pretty basic striking, decent, but I don't think she's very good. I think this is a layup the UFC are going to give Molly here. I think Molly seems in good spirits. She's ready to go. She's in England. She always brings a great performance in England. We've seen, the spinning back elbow that she landed. Yeah, I think Meatball is just going to pretty much better all around. I think eventually she probably finds the KO here and finds that chin, because I think Bruna's there to be hit. She's going to want to stand, and I think this is pretty much this is Molly all the way for me. Molly by KO.
Okay, I know you're pretty much same boat.
Yeah, I'm on Molly here for sure. I think that she's probably better everywhere, except maybe for when she's at range with Bruna Brazil, because I think Brazil's kicking game isn't really that bad. But Meatball, she pretty much lives inside the phone booth in the pocket, and she's pretty much always inside of everybody's kicking range.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to do what she does, which is make the fight dirty. And if she does that, I think that she absolutely rolls in this fight. I think she's got new life at strawweight. She was a little bit too small for 125. Yeah. But at this weight class, I think she's got a real shot to string some wins together against the average. And I think that Bruna Brazil is below average. And I was talking about this in Discord earlier in the week. There are not many women at 115 pounds that have been starched by not the elite of the division. And Bruna Brazil is one of those people. So I think that probably the most likely path for Molly to win is by decision. But I'm kind of with Johnny. I think I think she could probably hurt her at some point. And I think that she could probably take her down and maybe even get a submission if she wants to. So,
like a ground and pound, I could see that definitely.
yeah, ground and pound too, for sure. For a KO, for sure. So I'm not entirely sure exactly how I'm going to approach the fight. I might make the bigger bet on Molly by decision, but I will definitely have Molly like maybe like a 2-3 KO prop or maybe a 2-3 sub. I think that they're setting this girl up for a big night in Manchester, and at this weight class, I think she's got a shot to come through and get the finish. So I'm definitely going to be in. She's one of my favorite looks on the whole card, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess I understand the money line price, although it's a little fucking crazy for women's MMA. But yeah, I think she rolls. I think she should win. I'm with Johnny. I'll probably look to back her in some finishing props. Maybe throw her in a couple 2-fight parlays. I think she's got a real shot to make a statement. So yeah, I'll be on her for sure. I like her a lot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I mean, Molly, when she's lost, it's been, women who could bully her, wrestle her, submissions. That's not what we're going to get here. She's gonna
2-3 sub 16-1, boys. Yake said that's not that bad.
It's worth a shot.
You guys hear an echo?
Yeah, I'm getting an echo now. That's.
You still hear it?
I just turned my volume down. How's that? No, I still hear it.
I still hear it. Yeah.
Hold on, that could be me. What about now?
1, 2, 3,
Hello?
4.
Hello. Good.
Sounds good now.
All right.
No.
I got a little bit of feedback there. What the?
You guys hear that in the chat?
Yeah, can you guys hear that?
Wow. Yeah.
It's definitely from Keg.
Okay, they can hear it. Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. All right, hang on.
Well, weird.
We're back, baby.
Technical difficulties.
Power off.
All right, what about?
Sounds good when you talk.
Okay, we're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's frozen. Oh, he's good.
Yeah, I was frozen for a second, but I think I'm good now. All right.
There we go.
Okay. All right, our next fight is featherweight bout. We've got Nathaniel Wood taking on Daniel Pineda. Pineda, dude, that just he takes a lot of damage. He's a tough out, but taking on Nathaniel Wood, this feels like a spot similar to the meatball spot. They're kind of trying to put Wood over here. What are your thoughts? I guess we'll start with Keg. You are the man of the hour.
What is it? The Pineda Wood fight?
Pineda Wood, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is probably the biggest discrepancy on the card. I think that Wood is better than Pineda literally everywhere. I don't think that there is anything that Pineda does that's better than Wood, like in every facet of the game. So the only thing the kid has going for him in this fight, in my opinion, is that he's bigger than Nathaniel Wood. So like, should win the fight. Should win Wood. Should Wood win? Wow, that's a tough one. Should Wood win the fight? Yes, absolutely. The question becomes, what's the line in this fight right now?
Minus 430 Wood.
So what's that? That's like 84, 83%. He's got to win to cover that line.
Yeah.
I mean, that becomes a tougher call. I think he's probably good enough to win this fight 80% of the time. I just don't know if I would feel comfortable throwing him in parlays because 83% is a big, big, big nut to cover, man. But yeah, I think he's the side. How you get on him, I'm not really sure yet. I'll be interested to see what you guys think about that. But the line is fair when you're fighting Daniel Pineda because Wood is rock solid and Pineda's cheeks. So
Right.
I'm not sure how I'll attack the fight specifically. Check the spreadsheet this weekend, but I'll be on Wood in some way for sure. What's up, Razor?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, piggyback. I think Wood is better everywhere here. He's got better grappling. I think he's a better striker, even though Pineda's like he's like 40. He's old. The cardio is not very good. I think he's probably got maybe 6 minutes, 7 minutes at max where he could be strong. I mean, the only path I see for Pineda is probably catching him with a mean KO or maybe getting a sub in round 1. But other than that, I think Wood's able to just wear on him and just do whatever he wants. The spots that I was looking at was probably like Wood round 3 or decision. It's like plus 125. I don't mind that. I don't mind Wood in the over 1.5 because I definitely think it gets maybe into the second half of the fight. But yeah, I like Wood here. Probably the money line is a little crazy at 430. I mean, you really can't do much with that in parlays. So yeah, you're gonna have to pick a decision inside the distance or some kind of prop here. I don't mind the under. What's the under 2.5?
Fight
Minus
to start round 3 is like basically a coin flip at DK. Ye was just mentioned that. I mean, I guess I don't hate that. Like, I kind of think if Wood wins the fight, don't you think it's going long?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's able to get his grappling going, and I think Pineda's good enough. He's got good enough BJJ to be able to stay safe on the ground. It's whether if Wood can get in a dominant position and unleash ground and pound and maybe get him out of there. But I mean, I see Pineda being strong for at least 7 minutes. So
yeah.
I think.
So this is if you know me, you know what I'm doing here. Wood over 1.5 is minus 105. That's going to be my bet. Wood over 1.5.
That's not bad. That's not a bad way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost at even money. Yeah, you know, Pineda can have a decent start to the fight, but I think Wood gets the job done. I easily see this fight going 3 rounds. Pineda does take a lot of damage. It could get finished late, but yeah, I'll be on the over 1.5 at minus 105.
What? You got 105.
I might just bet the fight to start round 3 and not really care who wins the fight. That's not a bad bet.
Yeah, that's not a bad. Yeah, I like that.
That's not bad either. I think it goes long. I do think it goes long.
Yeah.
Wood's not going out and killing guys. He's very good.
Right.
I'll probably bet that the fight starts round 3, and then I'll bet Wood round 3 decision. That's probably the way I'll go.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like that bet, yeah.
All right. I feel like we got a pretty solid read on that one. All right, our next fight is another good one. Featherweight division, we've got Arnold Allen taking on Giga Chikadze. Allen coming off a couple tough losses. I think if the rule change with the downed opponent had been in effect, he may have won his last fight against what's his name there, Evloev.
Evloev.
Yeah, I think he was taken over there late in the fight. That knee kind of screwed everything up. Taking on Chikadze, though, he's a very good striker, very dangerous. Keg, what are your thoughts on this one?
I feel pretty good in saying that if the fight was 5 rounds, that Arnold Allen would win this fight at a much higher clip than Giga Chikadze for sure. In a 3-round fight, I think it becomes more interesting. But the way I see people talking about Allen this week, to me, it's comical because like he's washed all of a sudden after fighting 2 of the best featherweights in the world.
There's no way.
And yeah, bro, he lost a 1-round decision to Max Holloway, 48-47, and he lost by 1 round to Evloev, and you can make the argument that he won the fight. He's not good anymore?
Yeah.
Like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
Like, would you rather him beat people like Alex Caceres coming in the way Giga's coming in? I mean,
Alex Caceres.
Yeah, like or what did I say?
Eric Caceres.
I said Alex, didn't I? Well,
you said Alex weird. How you did say it weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that Arnold Allen is very good. Like, look at that Calvin Kattar fight. He beat that poor kid within an inch of his life in that fight.
Yeah.
And Giga lost to Calvin Kattar. And if you take a look at the people that Giga's beat, it's a lot of low-level guys, man. Every time he took a step up against Kattar, he drops that fight, right? Now, MMA math doesn't always work out, but there was a stark difference in that fight. I like Giga, but the cardio is a gigantic issue for him. And if Arnold Allen is smart, he will start training that cardio immediately. Giga always starts fast, and he'll probably dictate pace early. He usually does. But I think it'll go a long way for Allen if he starts making Giga defend takedowns early. I think at that point, 2 rounds of cardio turns into probably a round and a half of cardio. And like after that, I think Allen should be the increasing favorite as the minutes tick away in this fight. I think if Giga wants to win the fight, he's drawing dead if he doesn't dictate the range in this fight completely. But he does tend to dictate the range in most fights that he's in. I think if you're backing Allen, the first round's going to be hairy. In order for Allen to be successful, he really needs to be walking forward early, which he tends to not do in the first round of fights. I think that will go a long way to decide who wins this fight also. The line opened up at like minus 220, basically sits around there right now. Not a ton of movement. The line feels slightly wide to me, but not much. I think that if this was a 5-round fight, Allen should be minus 500. In a 3-round fight, it's tougher to call. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach betting the fight, but I do think that Allen is the side in terms of who has the best chance to win the fight. So I'm going to pick him to win the fight. I'm not sure if I will bet this fight, and if I do, how I will. Just check the spreadsheet. But I'm going to pick him to win the fight. I think he's better.
Johnny?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I like Allen here, but I can see in a world where this is a way closer fight than the odds would suggest. Because I don't know. I'm concerned whether Allen is going to, like Keg said, would be to mix in the grappling and drain his cardio, because we've seen Giga fade. But I've got concern that Allen will do that. I mean, he said in the Ariel, he had an interview with Ariel earlier in the week, and Ariel asked him about grappling. He's like, "What's grappling? But what is grappling? We're not going to grapple." So I don't know if that was just saying that because you want to maybe make him think that. Or are you going to go in there and try to put on a show in front of the home crowd and show you can strike with this world-class kickboxer? I don't really know what to make of that. That was kind of concerning about me laying my money on Allen, that if he doesn't grapple, I feel like this could be a lot closer.
Yeah.
But it is in England. I'm gonna pick Allen to get the win here, just by maybe mixing in, draining the cardio a different way. Maybe mixing in the body shots. He's got good body work. He can land some body kicks. I think it's a pretty close striking kickboxing match, if you ask me. I don't know, but I do like Allen's cardio. I do like his. I'm a fan of the guy. I think he can get the job done here. But I think we see where it could be a lot closer than we think if he doesn't grapple.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I like Allen here. I heard that interview as well. To me, when he was saying that, I felt like, he doesn't want to give anything away. I do think he will at least try to, if not go for takedowns, push it up against the cage, make it a dirty fight, wear on him that way. And I think that's the game plan. I think that's the way to beat Giga. Giga's striking is very good. He's dangerous. But even if this fight, I think it could be 1-1 going into the third. I think Allen will be the guy with the advantage.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the third round with the cardio advantage. I'd definitely make him the favorite in round 3 if it's 1-1. Yeah.
Like even in that Evloev fight, like he did take some damage early. He was losing, but and I was on Evloev, but I thought Allen was more than live to win that fight. And then when he threw that knee, that was kind of like the saving grace for my bet. But he was on his way to win that fight. And now with the rule changes, he still probably does win that fight. So, yeah, I think Allen's live. He's fought really two very, very tough guys in his last two fights. Obviously, Max is absolutely an animal. So, yeah, give me Allen here. And, again, late over 1.5. I think the fight gets into round 3. So
yeah, overs. I don't mind overs. Yeah. Over 2.5 is minus 260. It's not a bad parlay piece.
Exactly. All right, we'll move on to our next fight, middleweight bout between Christian Leroy Duncan and Gregory Rodriguez. Two very similar guys. Pretty decent volume. Both sides, pretty decent power, both sides. Both guys can grapple. Keg, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think that Rodriguez is very strong and powerful. I think he consistently walks forward like a zombie, and he's always looking to knock your head off your shoulders. But my big issue with him is that he's brain dead when it comes to fight IQ.
Right.
He's fallen in love with his hands, and he forgets that he's an excellent grappler with some sick jiu-jitsu. So I think he's on record saying that it's just too fun to knock people out, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Sure, it's just a sign of a guy that is not a very smart fighter. I think he's solid in the clinch. He has power. He's got pressure. But he's just as dumb as a box of rocks. I think that Duncan, on the other hand, excellent from range, uses all of his limbs extremely well. I think he is incredible at setting everything he does off that jab. I think that if Duncan is smart in this fight, he won't get into a firefight. He stays at range. He just tries to pick Rodriguez apart off that jab work. I think that if this fight was in the Apex and they were in a smaller cage, I'd have to think about it, man. Because, I could see a world where Rodriguez could hem Duncan in and really get him up against the cage and just start going to work. But I think the bigger cage for Duncan is huge because his footwork is excellent. He knows how to avoid getting cornered and getting the cage cut off. So I think If you combine that with the fact that you can never count on Gregory Rodriguez to go for a takedown ever, and it lends me to side with the way more technical striker in this fight, which is undoubtedly Chris Leroy Duncan. And the price feels fair to me. In the bigger cage especially, I'd make him the favorite. So, yeah, I like CLD. I'll be on him this week for sure.
Johnny?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. This is going to be a fun fight. I think this is going to be a war. I think these two guys are going to go at it. They're going to throw bombs here, and it's going to be who catches who first and who falls. Like Keg was saying, Rodriguez is like he's a credentialed BJJ. Never uses it. He wants to walk forward. He could use it, but I don't know. I think Duncan's takedown defense is pretty good, and he would have problems getting him down anyways. But I think Rodriguez, he just walks forward straight up with his chin out there. I think his chin has been touched. His chin has been cracked. It's there to be hit. I think Duncan is fast. I like how he dances in and out of the pocket. He kind of uses that karate style to get in and out and has that unorthodox striking. I like that. I like his power. Yeah, I think he starches him probably in round 2 or 3. I'll be on the KO 2 or 3. Also, another thing I like is fight ends by KO. That's not a bad look. I'll probably be on that.
What's that price?
And it's like minus 150.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I like that. And yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be a type of a Rock'em Sock'em Robots type fight. I do like Gregory Rodriguez. I've backed him quite a bit, but yeah, it's tough. Duncan is very technical. He matches skill for the most part. If Rodriguez does get the grappling going, it could be interesting. But yeah, I honestly side with violence. I think one of these guys probably goes down at some point. Right now, I think Duncan is my pick to win. But yeah, I think these guys are very similar, and it's a bit of a 50-50 to me.
Is it really?
Yeah. Because Rodriguez has power. I mean, he could catch him with something, and they're very similar, I think.
I just think technically Duncan is so much more better.
Yeah, I know, but Rodriguez.
I just think Rodriguez just walks forward like a zombie. That chin's been touched. Like Bruno Silva. If you could touch that chin, man.
Yeah, if you can clip him, you can knock him out. But if you don't, that pressure all of a sudden becomes a problem.
Yeah, so, that's what made me think about the smaller cage for sure. I'm with you there. Ye brought up a point we didn't mention. The speed difference will be significant. Yeah, that's true. His hand speed is way faster than Rodriguez. But man, all you got to do is get clipped once.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like at some point these two are just going to be trading, and somebody's going to go down. And it to me,
yeah, I'm betting that fight by KO.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd rather bet that than actually pick a side.
I don't hate that. That makes sense.
All right, we'll move on. Another very fun fight on the card here. We've got King Green taking on Paddy Pimblett. Paddy, the hometown guy, is going to have the crowd on his side. But we know King, or Bobby, as we're
not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, bro. We're not doing that. His name is Bob.
You're calling him Bobby?
Bob.
All right,
Bob. You're not going to call him his name, man?
No, we're not doing that. No.
We know Bobby's got the striking. We know he's well-rounded. All right, Keg, what are your thoughts on this one?
Listen, man, Paddy Pimblett blows, bro. All right? He sucks. I don't think that there has been a prospect that has been more highly touted and this bad in terms of skill level in a long time. Now, don't get me wrong. Offensively, I don't think he's that bad. I think he's good. He has nice hands. The hand speed's not terrible. The technique's okay. He throws combinations. His footwork is okay. On the ground, he's incredibly underrated. I don't think people realize how good his jiu-jitsu actually is, even though he rarely uses it at the UFC level. I think his top control leaves a lot to be desired, but his transitions are solid, and he's underrated on the ground. Here is the fucking problem. Number one, his cardio is atrocious. He's got about 7.5 minutes, maybe, and then it's over. He's almost guaranteed to lose every third round that he's in. Number two, he has some of, if not the worst, striking defense in the entire division, and it's not even debatable. The guy refuses to keep his hands up. He refuses to tuck that chin, and instead he holds it up in the air like a fucking turkey serving plate. Number three, he does not move his head off the center line when he throws it, ever. So all this equals no future for Paddy Pimblett. He will eventually run into a level of talent that he will not be able to overcome. And to be honest, that level should have been Jared Gordon, because I don't care what anybody says, Paddy Pimblett lost that fight 1,000,000%. It's not even debatable. Yeah, I mean, Gordon was robbed, and I think Pimblett might even be on record saying that he probably lost that fight. Now, I'm not a huge Bobby Green. Yeah. I'm not a huge Bobby Green guy. I faded him against Dober by KO. I tried to fade him against Jersey Jim at UFC 300, but that might have just been a New Jersey mojo bet. I haven't decided yet. Yeah. Either way. Either way.
I did the same thing, and I'm with you there. I feel like that was more of a rooting for Jim.
You got me to bet him. Yeah, you got me to bet Jim Miller.
Listen, either way, I'll be back in green this week because he's incredibly tough to put away, and he's going to have opportunities to touch that chin. And if he doesn't, and he makes Paddy work in the first half of that fight, Green becomes an overwhelming favorite to win the second half of that fight based on cardio alone. Is it a legacy bet? No, because it's Bobby Green. But I'll probably have a couple thousand on Bobby Green because I hate everything about Paddy Pimblett. I don't think he's good. This kid is going to lose a lot. No, if I'm him, bro, don't re-sign this contract. Go fight these fucking Muppets in a boxing ring. All these celebrity wannabe losers. Go fight them because there's no hope for you here. There's a 0% chance that you will succeed down the stretch. Bobby Green is your ceiling. Even if you beat Bobby Green, he's still your ceiling. So yeah, I'm all about Bobby Green. Paddy Pimblett blows.
All right, Johnny, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is an interesting fight here. You know, Paddy.
If you say Paddy, if you fucking say you're betting Paddy,
what?
Pimblett,
can I get in? Can I talk or what?
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Fuck, man.
Go ahead, man. This is your podcast. Go ahead, man.
Can I speak? Let me speak here. Yeah, like you were saying, Paddy's cardio is shit. I mean, he was totally fucking cooked against Tony Ferguson in round 3. Jared Gordon, he barely held on to survive that round. I mean, that fight was terrible altogether. The guy was an idiot. He was saying that, oh, fight of the night bonus. Yeah, it put me to fucking sleep. That fight was so bad. You know,
was an awful fight.
he's got decent hand speed. I mean, but like his cardio was shit, and I don't think the Bobby Green's volume is going to weigh on him. Bobby Green is going to be walking forward with his hands down, talking, you know, and I think he's going to be able to put the volume on. Now, I don't think Paddy's going to be able to keep up on the scorecards. I think Bobby Green's takedown defense is good enough to not go to the ground. Yeah, and I think Bobby just keeps it out range, picks him apart, and I think he eventually finds a knockout. I'm gonna be on the Bobby Green money line, and I'm also gonna be on the Bobby Green KO 2 or 3. Because I think eventually he could just put the pressure that he's gonna be putting on him. I think round 3 could break him. And this guy has already got his mindset out. Oh, do I go fight these influencers, or do I stay here? And I mean, he's been pretty much he's been handed his run in the UFC, and now here you go. You're gonna actually fight a good fighter here. Even though Bobby Green's chin has been cracked recently, I do think that needs to be mentioned. It has been hit. Jalen Turner. I mean, you get knocked out like that. I mean, it's hard to ever come back from a knockout like that, as vicious as it was. He took about 6 or 7 blows after he was already out. Yeah, which is rough to come back from, but I mean, he looked good in his last fight against Jim. I was on Jim, because Keg had me bet Jim. But
that was a camaraderie bet.
Camaraderie bet.
We all went down that one.
Johnny brings up a good point. You bring up a good point about Bobby Green's chin, because that Jalen Turner knockout was awful. But at least we saw him take some good shots against Jim Miller and still be okay.
Yeah.
And Jim Miller, I mean, you put Jim Miller in there with Patty.
The only thing I worry about here is the fucking hometown robbery.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
My biggest concern would be that.
Yeah, that's a real, like, even for the people, and we'll talk about it, that are backing Bilal Muhammad, his win equity is by decision, and only probably by decision. Yeah. So you're counting on Manchester to give one of their own, to basically take the belt away from one of their own. And, and same could be said, Liverpool is not that far away from Manchester, man.
But they are, another thing, they are rivals, though. So that is one thing to state out. They are rivals.
Well, at least we got that going for us.
It's going to be a pro-Patty crowd for sure.
It's going to be, they were yelling at the press conference, Patty the best. So he's going to have his fans there. So,
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think Bobby probably pieces him up for most of the fight. And third round, you know, we've seen Bobby put it on guys like Fiziev and way better fighters late in fights, and we've seen Patty fade. So that's pretty much all I need to say about it. I think Bobby is just the better fighter. Yeah,
why do you guys think that he's taking money? Why is Patty taking
Patty?
money?
I don't know. That came all the way down. It was
thank God we waited. But I don't understand what the market sees here.
I mean, Patty looks good. He looks like he's in great shape. He is basically a hometown fighter. People generally have a sour taste in their mouth when it comes to Bobby Green. Even my friends that I talk to who bet the sport, that are, you know, they're not experts on the sport, but they have some thoughts. Bobby Green's always a guy that's not highly looked at.
Yeah, he's not a very likable dude.
Yeah.
He's not like he just like he's always like treating people like kind of shitty. He's not a very likable dude, you know?
Like even Ryan, who, you know, he's the NASCAR guy, but he texted me, he's like, I wanted to bet Bobby, but now he's King Green. Like, now I don't know if I like it. But I feel like that's a lot of people's opinion. Like, people question his head.
Hey, man, let the guy change his name, man.
The King thing is just that's a bridge too far for me. I'm never calling anybody King, bro. I'm sorry. Right. I just can't. It's not in my DNA.
I hear you. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think Bobby's the side here. I think yeah, I mean, obviously Patty could catch him with something big, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. All right, we can move on. Our next fight, we get to the co-main. We've got the interim heavyweight title fight, which, I mean, Feels more like the heavyweight title fight to me. But anyway, we've got Tom Aspinall taking on Curtis Blades. We saw this fight for about 30 seconds. Aspinall blew his knee out. Keg, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think that the fight is closer than the odds represent. I think that the biggest thing that Tom Aspinall has going for him in this division is the speed of his hands. I don't think I have ever in my life seen a heavyweight MMA fighter on the roster that can throw a 1-2 as fast as Tom Aspinall. And when you combine that with the insane power that he has and a gas tank that we have never seen deplete. Now, granted, his fights they tend not to go long, but
Right.
at least as of now, we've never seen his gas tank be a problem. And then you add in the fact that he has a fundamental jiu-jitsu game that nobody's ever seen that is sick. That is
Right.
absolutely sick because of where he grew up. So I think he's the total package without a doubt. But, he's fighting the best wrestler in the history of the division. And the question becomes, can he stay on his feet? And will Curtis Blades even try to take him down? Like, if you watch that first fight, I thought that Blades had more success on the feet in those opening exchanges than I thought that he would have had. He was touching Tom a little bit, but if that's not the recipe for Blades to win. He needs to put Tom on his back in order to win the fight, or he's probably going to get knocked out at some point in those 25 minutes, because I think that the hand speed differential is insane. Now, can Blades get Aspinall down? I don't think that there's a 250-pound man that Curtis Blades can't take down. And that's John Jones included. I think he is world-class when it comes to MMA wrestling. And if he uses that and he is careful on entry, I think that he can get him to the ground. And I think he could win the fight. From a money line perspective, the fight's dog or pass for me, because I just think that Blades is too good of a wrestler to feel good about Aspinall winning this fight more than 80% of the time. I'm not sure how I'll approach the fight, to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to take the shot on Aspinall's KO or maybe just bet the wrong number on Blades. I have to think more on it. I'm going to pick Tom Aspinall to win the fight, sports betting aside. But check the spreadsheet. I'm not sure how I'm going to bet the fight yet. But I think at plus 330, Curtis Blades is super live. But I'm gonna pick Aspinall to win. Not sure how I'll bet it yet.
Johnny.
Yeah, this is an interesting one for me. First fight, I was actually on Curtis Blades. But that was my thought would be that he would use his wrestling. But it seems lately that he's just doesn't want to wrestle. He's fallen in love with his hands, and his, I think, Blades' path to victory here would definitely be if he gets the grappling going here. But I mean, he's fell in love with his hands. He's a striker now. He doesn't want to wrestle. And I think if he stands on the feet, I think eventually, Tom's hand speed and power, he's going to be able to clip this guy. I mean, the first time the exchanges in the first one were real close, I think it kind of edged it to Curtis. But I mean, we only seen like 15, 20 seconds of the fight. So it's kind of hard to judge, if there's another 2-3 exchanges, does Tom catch him on the chin and put him away? Sole purpose here. If I knew Curtis Blades would use his wrestling here, I would 100% be on Curtis Blades. But yeah, the pick is it's got to be Aspinall, and Aspinall, I think he's at that level right now where he's just, I think he's that guy right now. And yeah, I'm on Aspinall. I bet Aspinall in rounds 1 or 2. And if goes longer, then I'll probably might want to look to get on Blades because he's probably mixing in the grappling and extending this. And we don't know what Tom looks after. I mean, what's as long as he's been like 8 minutes in the fight. So if this gets extended, we don't know how that cardio is going to look later into the fight. I got some concerns about that. But I think 1 and 2, I think it's pretty good because, I mean, he did look kind of, I mean, the Arlovsky fight, I mean, which was the fight that kind of got extended. He didn't look the greatest in that fight, you know. But, I mean, that was a while ago. So, I mean, I don't really hold much blood to that. And he did choke out. He choked out Arlovsky. I think it's going to be pretty hard. And he does have a sick BJJ game. Aspinall, I mean, his dad's like the BJJ coach, and he's got, you know, he's, I mean, world class. But yeah, I see if Almeida couldn't tap out Blades, I see it kind of hard for Aspinall to get him out of there. So I think most likely it's a knockout. But yeah, I just bet the 1 or 2, Aspinall in 1 or 2, and yeah.
Interesting note about this fight. I think the fight to not go the distance in the first fight closed minus 195. How long did they fight in that fight? 1 minute?
Less than a minute.
15 seconds.
Less
like
than
20
a minute.
seconds.
It was short, yeah.
So basically, you saw nothing in that fight.
Right.
Yeah, you saw nothing. Yeah.
And the line to not go the distance, this fight is minus 1,000.
Well, the line was a pick'em pretty much in the first one. The line, Aspinall was like minus 140. Blades was like plus 125, plus 130. So big money line move there. But yeah, Aspinall 1 or 2.
It feels like Aspinall right now is the pinnacle of UFC heavyweights. But yeah, the live market could be interesting here because I do question what his cardio actually is. I mean, we've seen Blades go a full 5 rounds. He doesn't have 5-round cardio either. We saw him fade late, but we don't know what Aspinall has. And Blades, he has fallen in love with the striking a little bit, but I feel like he's striking with guys that he can't strike with. So this could be an interesting matchup where he decides.
He's striking with Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis. Those are not guys you want to strike.
That was quick. That was quick. I mean, he was shooting for a takedown against Derek Lewis, and he got caught with an uppercut.
After he tried to exchange with.
But to be fair, he was beating Derek on the feet. He was winning until he was losing.
Yeah, but you don't want to trade with the knockout king.
Right. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, he's been knocked out by Derek Lewis. He's been knocked out by Francis twice. The heaviest of heavy hitters. You know, it's not like he's going out there getting knocked out by mid-level guys. He's getting knocked out by the best of the best. But one thing I will say is Pavlovich landed a couple good shots on Aspinall, and he did not fold. So I think Curtis has to go at least try to get back to the wrestling in this one. I like Tom. I think he wins this fight, but I am interested to see if the fight does get extended. I do think there may be a live bet on Blades if it gets extended, beyond 2.5, or, beyond the second round. But I don't
think that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was just going to say, I don't think that there's a question that he will inevitably go for takedowns. The question is, will it happen before he gets knocked out?
Right. Or before he's in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, if I'm Blades, that's my bread and butter. I mean, the dude's landed, he's like among the top of takedowns in the UFC. You might as well go back to it, but
it's a title fight too. You would think you would utilize a bet path to victory.
Yeah, and Aspinall, he does have good grappling, so it's not like if Blades lands a takedown, the fight's over. It's not at all that's not the case. But That's where I'd go if I was Curtis. I would try to wrestle early and often, but I don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
have we ever seen Tom on his back?
I don't think so.
No, we haven't.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
I mean, really, honestly, that the Arlovsky fight, it was like Arlovsky had a little bit of success on the feet, and Tom said, "All right, I'm done with this," and then he just double legged him into the cage and ended it. Like that was the most adversity he's faced outside of the torn ACL.
Yeah.
So we haven't really seen him in a bad spot. And I think that's because he's really that good. I think right now he's probably the best heavyweight in the world. So yeah, I mean, Aspinall's a pick for me.
How are you betting him?
I mean, I'll probably bet him by KO. But yeah, that's probably. I'll probably bet him by KO. All right, we'll move on to the main event. We've got the welterweight title on the line. We've got Leon Edwards taking on Belal Muhammad. Muhammad is on a nice run. We saw these two fight, but similar to the co-main, it was ended early with an eye poke. So we don't know what we would have got out of that fight. It looked like Leon was the better fighter there, but that was almost 3 years ago. Keg, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. I really want to take Belal Muhammad because I think that if he can use his wrestling and get Leon down consistently, I think he's got a shot to roll. But I have my concerns. Like Leon, I think, was taken down by Colby, but not much. He really wasn't taken down in the second or third fight, I don't think, against Usman, if at all. Yeah. So, I just don't know if Belal is going to be able to get those takedowns, but he's clearly stronger than he has been in the past because he looks like he's on all the steroids, literally every one of them, every steroid. So, I mean, he might have found the edge he needs to get these takedowns now. One thing was clear to me watching the first round of that first fight, and that's the striking battle is not really a battle. They appear to be on different planets. Like Leon looked like he could do whatever the hell he wanted. I would think that Belal Muhammad knows that too. And he probably goes in with a much heavier grappling game plan in this fight than he would have going into that first fight with Rocky. I think another aspect of the fight that is intriguing is Leon is normally very cautious when he strikes, but not really against the strikers that he knows that he has a big edge in, right?
Right.
When he feels comfortable, he really starts to let those hands go. And when you start letting those hands go often, it opens up the opportunity for your opponent to swing under and grab a couple cheap takedowns. So I think that if Belal can get a few cheap takedowns, it could go a long way to securing the win for him. He has literally been doing nothing but drilling grappling, because if you look at his ears now compared to the way that they looked in June, they're twice the size. So he's probably been super grappling focused. My number one issue right now with taking the shot on Belal Muhammad is the majority of his win equity, if we're going to be honest here, is him to win by decision. He does not finish people consistently. And so in order for him to win, which will even in a win will probably be a close decision, he's going to have to get his hand raised in a close decision against a kid that grew up in Manchester. That's a very, very tough ask to count on from these judges to do the right thing, especially in 2024. That's the reason that I have not pulled the trigger yet. I just don't know if he'll get a fair shake, even if he did edge a decision. So I'm going to pick the dog here. I'm going to pick Bilal to get the win. I'm not sure if I'll get to the window to bet him yet, though. I have to think about it more. My opinion could change. Check the site. Well, not the site, the spreadsheet. But right now, I'm going to pick Bilal Muhammad. But I have my concerns that if he wins, it probably has to be by decision. And I'm not sure that they'll give him that.
Yeah, I agree. Johnny?
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward for me. I mean, this is Leon all the way here. I mean, yeah, like Tig was saying, Bilal's path would be getting the takedowns, but I just think, I mean, Leon's takedown defense and get up game is very good. It is very, very good. It's Bilal going to be able to take him down and hold him down and land damage. Because when this is on the feet, I mean, it's not even close. The straight shots from Edwards were just, I mean, they were landing at will. And, you know, Bilal's rudimentary striking, he's throwing a lot of hooks around, which leaves you open for the straight shot right down the pipe. And that jab was doing work, the 1-2, bang, bang, down the middle. And also that head kick in the first fight had him wobbled, had him hurt. That's going to be there again, I think, in this fight. That head kick will be there. It will be there, and it might show up, you know. Yeah, I think this is primarily going to be a striking battle on the feet, and I think there's just levels here, and I think Leon's just going to be able to piece them, pick them up. Leon's cardio is a little concerning later in the fights, but I think it'll get to the point where he probably wins like the first 3 rounds and he could probably cruise, because I don't see much finishing equity from Bilal. I mean, he's talking all this shit. He's being cringe all week, saying the most ridiculous stuff. He's got hands like Canelo. His coaches are saying he's got hands like Canelo. He's going to he's going to knock Leon out, jump over the fence, attack his brother,
Bro,
you know, all kinds of shit. Like,
he actually said that there will be more people in Manchester rooting for him than Leon Edwards.
They booed him out of the press conference today. If you've seen that, so I mean,
he's trying to play the game.
He's trying to, like, I mean, he's trying. I give him a, you know, he's making the effort, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't see, like, if this is on the feet. I mean, I just see it being one-way traffic. I don't know, man.
If it's on the feet, it's a wrap, bro.
Yeah,
I just think we're going to be looking back at this and be like, man, this was really that easy.
I don't know how Bilal Muhammad can actually win if this is on the feet for 25 minutes. I don't think he can. I think it's impossible.
I mean, I feel like he has to dominate the wrestling from bell to bell to win this fight. Outside of that, I don't think he has a shot.
Where are you at, Tommy?
I like Leon, man. I would love to have seen Colby going for more takedowns earlier in that fight. It was like Colby wasn't there for the fight against Leon, so it's like I don't even know what to take out of that fight. But for the most part, Leon just kind of did his thing. And the Usman fight, the second fight, well, technically, I guess the third fight, Usman didn't really look like he was there either. It was just, but I mean, maybe that's just Leon. Maybe just Leon is that good. And these guys know he's not going to be easy to take down. He's not going to be easy to control. And his striking is very good. He's dangerous. So, yeah, I mean, it does look like Bilal is on all the supplements. That was the first thing I thought when I saw him. But skill-wise, I don't know. I just think Leon's there. And, you know, he's the hometown guy. It's going to take quite a bit. It's going to take a dominant performance for him to lose this fight. So, yeah, I like Leon. I think Leon's the side here. And I think at some point later in the fight, I think he could start picking apart Bilal and making it ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I can't blame you guys at all for being on Leon. To be honest, I might end up there too. I don't know. I'm still undecided. But
I just see a hard path, man. I just think Edwards' takedown defense has improved. I mean, I could see Bilal maybe getting takedowns later, but I think by then Leon will have already done his work. And,
The one thing I will say from a
I
DFS
don't know.
perspective is if Bilal is able to manage 4 or 5 takedowns, even if they're not overly effective, I think he could score, decent. He is cheap. He's going to be cheap on DFS. So there is a bit of a path there. But
is there are you thinking about playing both guys in the main event this week?
if I was playing cash, I would 100% play both guys. Although I don't know, because there's 2 5-round fights. So, but I don't think I would stack. I don't think I would stack the co-main because that's going to be one guy's going to score a lot, the other guy's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you're playing cash, I'd probably stack the main because there's a very good chance Bilal lands. Let's say he lands 4 or 5 takedowns, gets some control time. He's going to be pretty heavily owned, so it's worth it. But if you're playing a tournament, you're going to have to pick a side, and just you can't stack it in a tournament. But
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, boys.
All right, yeah, that's it.
So
We got
the schedule for the weekend. Saturday will be live for the UFC all night long. Public show. Sunday morning, I'm going to go live for the F1 race. Our guy Yeg will probably be on a flight to Paris. Johnny, if you're awake, come hang out with me Sunday morning for the
F1 fucking, what are you trying to fucking torture me, kid?
Yeah. Plus,
where the fucking guy let the other guy win the race?
Listen, bro. Listen. Plus, I'm sure we're gonna have some soccer going with the Olympics.
Oh yeah. We got a lot going on.
We'll have opportunities.
We got tennis. I think. Yeah.
If there's anything going on Saturday before UFC that you think's worth going on earlier for, just let me know. But if not, we'll go live at 6 when the card starts for MMA, and then Sunday morning. And then maybe we'll hang out a little bit for some soccer and some tennis. But both will be on the YouTube channel, so everybody come and hang out. We'll be here.
All right. So tune in this weekend. That's going to do it for us. I guess until next time, good luck this weekend. Thanks
Later,
for tuning
boys.
in. Later.
See you, boys.